fours and one trip to the NIT, was the first Temple player to grab over 1,000 rebounds and still ranks fourth all time with 10-17. Ranks fifth and sixth currently for most rebounds in a single season, ranks fourth and 10th for rebounds per game in a single season. He once pulled down 22 rebounds for the Owls in the 1956 NCAA Final Four in a win over SMU. A two-time first-team All-Big Five honoree, a prolific scorer with 1,024 points, currently ranking him 51st on our all-time list, and Jay starred in the Eastern League before serving as an assistant coach for the Temple Owls for 21 years. The great Jay Norman.
Thank you very much. I just have one disclaimer. There has never been and will never be a better backcourt than Harold Lear and Guy Rodgers. I love both Bruce and Pickles. Pickles played with Guy for 1 year, but Guy, he had a meanness about him that you never would. Joey Goldenberg stole the ball off Guy once, and Guy beat the crap out of him for the next 2 years. Guy did things that I still don't see done today. He would throw the ball at a guy's head, and instinctively you would duck. And he would complete the pass. If I came down on one side and I had two guys playing against me and one guy on the other side playing against the other guy, Guy would get the ball to me because it was spectacular. I mean, here's a guy that played about 12 years in the NBA and did a lot of things. And we would not have gone anywhere without Guy Rodgers. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be here. You think about my career, I started out as a young man in Georgia, living on my grandmother's farm. I thought my life was going to be walking behind Mike. We had a mule named Mike. And I thought I was going to be walking behind Mike the rest of my life. But my mother brought me to Philadelphia, and by coming to Philadelphia, it changed my life. I grew up in West Philadelphia, and at that time, I only knew about Old Brook, West Philly, and Bartow. And at that time, they used to have the Earl Theater. Some of the old folk here will know where the Earl Theater was. The Earl Theater is like the Apollo in New York now. They had shows there. Well, I was a poor kid. I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. So I knew if I went to those schools, the peer pressure would have been too much for me. One day I'm walking the halls in junior high school, and a teacher comes up to me and wanted to know where I was going to go to high school. I didn't know, so he said, take a ride with me. So I rode with him up to Mastbaum, met the coach, and met some of the players. Now, at that time, I lived around 37th and Market. Well, the guy drove me to the L. He gave me $1 to get back home with. At that time, it was PTC. Well, PTC was only 8 cents. Once I bought my ticket, I had 92 cents, and I was rich. You know, we're talking about years ago. And as a result, I wound up taking a test to Mastbaum. I go to Mastbaum, and in 3 years, I became an all-public football player and a basketball player. Pete Stevens, who was a coach at Temple at that time, recruited me to come to Temple. I came to Temple on a football scholarship. I was blessed because at that time we had an athletic director named Josh Cody. Josh Cody was a Southern gentleman. Josh Cody was an All-American football player at Vanderbilt. But Josh was a man. I complete my freshman year, then I get drafted, go into service. When I come back, I was having problems with my knee. and I go in to see Mr. Cody, and I said, I don't want to play football because I have problems with my knee. And he said something that has stuck with me today. He said, I would rather have you play something that you wanted to play and get something out of you than to force you to play something and get nothing out of you. And that stuck with me for the rest of my life. Now, Harry Litwack was the basketball coach at that time. I don't know what he saw in me, but he gave Harry Silcox a job of working with me a half hour before practice every day and a half hour after practice every day. The season started my sophomore year. I was playing behind a guy named Billy Smith. Billy Smith was 6'5". He had a two-hand set shot. I didn't have that. He had a jump shot. I didn't have that. He could put the ball on the floor. I couldn't do that. So every day, a half hour before practice and a half an hour after practice, I had to work with Harry Silcox. And that was fine. We played 3 games, then we go to Kentucky to play the University of Kentucky. So we're playing in front of, I guess, maybe about 14,000 people. And I swear to God, I think Billy peed on himself. That's how nervous that he was. But at that point, I was a man. I didn't give a crap. They had 2 guys that were like 6'7", 240. I had been used to playing against guys that size in football, so Billy never got the job back. As a result, we were able to go to the tournament my sophomore year and my senior year. And it was an easy job for me to rebound because you had a guy like Harold Lear who could score. And if you look at it, I think he has a record for points scored in a season or a year. I'm not sure which it was, but he was a great scorer. Harold Lear was one of those guys that if he took a foul shot and it hit the rim, he didn't want it. That's how good a pure shooter he was. But having him and Guy Rogers, both left-handed guys, Guy was the ultimate ball handler. Harold Lear was a great shooter. And those were the 2 guys that I had that year with. My junior year, Mel Brodsky played guard along with Guy. And in my senior year, Pickles was a guy that played alongside of Guy. And we had great years. And for me to look around and see people that remember me when, well, I never had hair.
Never.
For people to recognize that I was a member of some great teams here. And I think Fran is doing a great job here, and we're going to be back to that. So thank you very much for coming out, and thank you for the conversation.